because the people that will lean in, if we kind of build this bridge between what we do well, like what our unique gifts are, and the space we're meant to hold for people as mentors and coaches, and who we want to work with, that spark ignites, and that energy of like, I got to carry this person all the way through the process, it tends to get replaced with, there is an energetic exchange that's fulfilling for both of you. You are listening to Amplify Your Success Podcast, episode 457. And today we've got another amazing on-air coaching session. Today's all about aligning for amplification. You ready for this? Let's get started. Welcome to the Amplify Your Success Podcast. Get ready to ramp up your revenue, amplify your impact, and make your mark in the world. This is the show for experts, thought leaders, and service professionals who want to shatter their limits and achieve that next level. You're going to find out from other experts and influencers how they made it. Now, let's get amplified. Hey there, inspired entrepreneurs and business leaders. It's your host, Melanie Benson, and today I have an extraordinary guest joining us. She's so brilliant, and she is one of the hosts that has joined me at Visibility Velocity for the VIP track to pitch their show to. We've done some great projects together, and I was so honored to have her in the on-air coaching spot because she asked a powerful question about alignment. And I believe she and I share a human design, and so it's really interesting to do an alignment session with somebody. Alignment is one of the foundations that you have to have in place. Like, you have to be making decisions from a place of energetic congruence with your most unique energies. And if you don't, and you try to override that, as many people discovered, me including, it's very easy to create a business you later grow to resent, or it just doesn't grow. It doesn't have that amplification that you're looking for. Things that should work just don't. And it's because you're out of the energetic congruence with your human design and what's lighting you up. So tune in, see if you can catch some of your own questions, and some of the coaching that I give to this amazing woman perhaps speaks to you. And if you want to go deeper, two things for you to know. First of all, I have opened up 2 spots for the fall for what I call expansion coaching. This is one-to-one. This is something I don't open up very often, but I just feel very lit up and very excited about doing some of the work that I get to do with my Authority Accelerator clients, but to do it so much bigger around tuning into your human design, your gene keys, your energetic blueprint, and helping you make some decisions about where you're going next, and or how to really step fully into that greater expansive success that you know is inside of you, but has felt a little bit out of reach, or a lot out of reach. And if you want a little taste of how I work with clients, I highly recommend you go and download the framework to be an unignorable expert. Being in alignment is one of the factors that I talk about in that guide. And if you head over to melaniebenson.com/framework, you can download it free as my gift to you. I also put a little scorecard there so you can check in and see how do these different factors of running a business line up with where you are right now. Okay, let's get into the coaching. Welcome back, Amplifiers. I am so excited today. We're doing another on-air coaching session, and this is where I live hot seat somebody, often a client or an alliance partner or someone who's bought a program here, and we really lean into visibility that leads to monetization. And today I have an amazing guest joining us, somebody who we are that quintessential, we met on social media kind of friendship. And it's blossomed into something really just so awesome. We found all these different ways to collaborate. So let me introduce you to my friend Annie. Annie, will you take a minute and introduce yourself to the Amplify community?
Hello. Hi, Melanie, and thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. My name is Annie Adragna, and I am the host of the Luminous Life podcast. Um, I- we have soulful conversations for high performers and achievers that are looking for more than just the external success. They're looking for true fulfillment. And my belief is that fulfillment really only comes, sorry, success really only comes from fulfillment on the inside. And that's spoken from real life lived situations. And so my coaching slash mentorship also serves that individual.
Hmm. And a fun fact about Annie and I is we discovered, and this is kind of how we first really connected, that we are both in the human design world, manifestors with a 6-2 profile. And are we both emotional or do you have a different authority?
Yeah, we're both emotional 6-2 manifestors, which is like super powerful and a little scary sometimes, and also just really fun to meet someone else with that experience. It's really nice.
I don't think I've ever met anyone else who's into human design who had literally the same profile and all those three factors the same as me. Have you?
No, no, I haven't. I
It's kind of
haven't.
cool.
Yeah, I think we differentiate on our incarnation cross, which is a little bit more
Hmm.
nerdy than we
Hmm.
need to go in this conversation, but yeah, it's fun. I love it.
Yeah, it is fun. Okay, so as we always start these on-air coaching sessions, what is the specific situation or outcome that you would like my support with today?
Mm. I would, so speaking of human design, I believe that many people resonate more strongly if they're coming from their true, authentic selves. And I believe that I've been able to find more about myself through my human design. And so, as far as positioning myself as a emotional 6-2 manifester, that comes with a certain set of I guess like a certain voice, I guess, for lack of a better term. And I'd like to make sure that how I'm positioning myself in helping individuals that I like to help comes across that way without burning myself out with my offer.
Mm-hmm. So, in my language of the authority
Mhm.
accelerator process, it's really kind of getting clear on what you're known for. But
Mhm.
we're adding like another layer today because you are so clear about your human design so that it's really aligned energetically and
Yes.
vibrationally.
Yes. Absolutely.
And up to now, what has been the challenge or the obstacle that it feels in the way of you being able to have that alignment in what you're known for?
I think that I think that it's conditioning
Mm,
that has, and again, using human design, we, I don't have I can be influenced by other people's energy. So I would say that knowing that what, how I can offer people, how I can help people and what I can offer people is truly confronting something that they know inside is meant to be theirs. And so making sure that it's clear that that comes across. 'Cause again, that is part of my incarnation cross is confronting something. And so being able to do that in a way that is clear, that isn't gonna handhold them all the way, because I do not want to have to follow up over and over. I mean, that's just not that's
mm.
not for me. And so that. I don't know if that's clear enough, but
I'm getting a
essentially it's
picture.
that. Yeah, it's that. And so confronting what it is that they need to confront so that they understand that there is going to be this, this powerful sort of transformation and And then the behind the scenes for myself is to do it in a way that's not like a year long. I could never imagine doing a year long of something
Mm.
over and over and over again every week, 2 to 3 times, times a week. That's not me.
Okay, that's good information. I think we've had a little bit of that conversation in the past, and
Hmm.
we found that this is one of the places where we kind of depart from the
Hmm.
similarities. Is I'm really built for having something go on and on and on because it
Hmm.
allows me to lean into like that predictability where you're like, oh my gosh, that does not work for me. So that's good information.
Well, if I could just sort of clarify just a little bit, is that I don't mind having a connection to people, right? So
Mhm.
like the offering being something that they can get from me reoccurring, but for me to have to hold someone's hand for that long period of time is not something that I think that is really
Yeah.
aligned and would burn me out.
Yes, totally. I
Mhm.
definitely relate to that.
Okay.
So there's a few things that are sparking for me. First of all, let's go back to this idea of what you're known for.
Mhm.
What do you think people know you for now?
That's a damn good question, Melanie.
Well, what do you
Um,
want them to know? Well, first of all, answer that if you can. And if you can't, that's okay. I've got a part two to it.
well, I hope and what I think. So what I think people know me for is someone who's pretty straight talking, that I'm willing to kind of go there and talk about some things that mm, maybe people aren't used to talking about. So confronting some things that they're not used to talking about. I also think that people know that I'm a pretty spiritual person, and so they can go deep real fast with me. And I believe that people see me as a role model within how to like live your life. So I live a very healthy life, and I'm qualified and willing to have conversations with people about how to live healthier, happier lives. Hopefully,
Okay.
that's the waves that are coming behind me.
Yeah, so it's not really necessarily career or business focused as much as what I'm hearing is it's about this fulfillment and
Hmm.
it's about maybe facing parts of their experience that they're having right now that are incongruent
Hmm.
and having those being willing to have those really difficult conversations. So a truth
Hmm.
sayer.
Hmm.
But here's one of the things that I know about being a manifester. And for those of you listening in, if you're not familiar with human design, there are five types in the human design, or five human design. I guess types is the right way to
Types,
say it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and we, as manifestors, we have a unique quality in that we are meant to be catalysts. We kind of bring this energetic fire that is either going to be really intensely attractive to someone and they're going to feel that spark and lean into it, or it's going to be very repelling. So, in that knowledge of being a manifester, one of the things that I think is super important in what we are known for is who do we want to be known for what to? Because the people that will lean in, if we kind of build this bridge between what we do well, like what our unique gifts are, and the space we're meant to hold for people as mentors and coaches, and who we want to work with, that spark ignites and that energy of like, I got to carry this person all the way through the process, it tends to get replaced with there is an energetic exchange that's fulfilling for both of you. So, who do you really like working with?
I love working with like successful go-getters, people that are getting shit done. I didn't ask you if I can, sorry.
The S
I'm
word is okay, but the F word
okay.
probably not.
No, no, I wouldn't, I don't, yeah, it's not my brand. But did people that get ish done, people that have a title, that have a job, that seem to sort of have it all together, that they know that they are meant for more. And that could be a job change. That could be starting the business that's been in their vision board forever. That could be moving across the world. Like it could, like big life transition for someone who is a get-ish done kind of person who seems to have it all together, but they're sort of like, I know that this is not the end of the line for me. I know that I am meant to fulfill this purpose in my life. And I believe that that is a spiritual practice that is sent down from whatever ether, the heavens above. Like that's part of why we incarnated here in this lifetime.
Mm.
That's who I want to work with. That's who I do attract and work with. But I want to define that a bit more. Yes.
Okay, so what I'm hearing so far is go-getters,
Yes.
people who have a lot that they're like moving big energy in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't sound like there's a archetype of they're either like working for a corporation or they're their own boss. I mean, or is there? Is there a little bit more distinction in the role they're playing right now?
No, because
Okay.
for me, it's like if someone, I'm gonna assume that there's gonna be more business owners or individuals that want to be their own boss, but they
Hmm.
don't have to. If someone has this, like they're happy working for an organization or a corporation or executive type individual, then that's fine. I just imagine not as many people really wanting to do that. But
Mm.
if they are, then heck yeah, let's go for it. I'm not going to discriminate against those just two types of
Okay,
people.
so let me take you into that a little bit more because
Hmm.
this is a very powerful opportunity right here.
Okay.
When you're willing to distinguish a bit more
Hmm.
from someone who's like a go-getter, but they're like the business owner, the
Hmm.
CEO of their own business, versus they're working inside a corporation, oftentimes they're going to have an energetic like draw towards you if you can talk about them specifically.
Hmm.
And it doesn't mean that the other type won't ever show up. It
Hmm.
just means that the language, the message, the energy, the dialogue, the stories, everything is really speaking to that woman who's
Hmm.
got a lot going on, who's building her business. She hasn't, whatever, her empire in mind. And yet there's something else calling to her that she's not stepping into yet, right?
Hmm.
That's a different messaging framework than you're hustling for someone else, right? And so I would just invite you to think about that a little bit or just notice your
Yeah.
emotional response to this. And you
I
may
am
need to
having,
be with it, you
yeah.
know? What
No,
is your
yeah, I
response?
am having an emotional. I mean, hearing you like talk about it, my head was at, I don't know if this is video or not, but like my head's nodding a lot more, and I'm like, the hell yes, when you're
Hmm.
talking about that person who is fulfilling that dream within themselves
Yes.
versus like supporting another person. I definitely align with someone who really marches to the beat of their own drummer because of my own creativity and the juices that kind of, I definitely feel a lot more
Okay.
excitement from that for sure.
Okay, good.
Hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
as an emotional authority,
Hmm.
and what that means, if you're listening and you're not familiar with human design, it means there's different ways in our body that we know truth, that we make decisions from. And so, an emotional authority person has waves of massive like high and massive low. I want you to just notice over the next 7 to 14 days if
Hmm.
your emotional authority tweaks out and you're like, but I don't want to let go of this, right? Like ride that wave up and down a little bit until you get to a really neutral place with it.
That's the hardest part for me.
I
It really is.
know, me too.
Because we feel so much. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
For anyone who isn't an emotional authority, know that like we just feel so much. Like the highs are so high and the lows can be pretty low. It's pretty, there's a lot of feelings.
We have big feels, well, both directions. Yes,
Yes, we do.
I love that I can have this conversation with you. You get
Yeah,
me,
I do.
and I get you. And
Yes,
so
you
I
do.
know that that comes every emotional authority I know, and particularly for me, if I don't let the wave ride out, I'll find myself resenting something later, or feeling like I've missed something, or feeling like, oh man, like now it doesn't feel aligned anymore. And so just
Yeah.
notice right now it's feeling aligned and just give it space to breathe a little bit and notice 7 to 14 days. Do you still feel that? And you might notice in 3 days. It's like, yep, I'm really neutral with this. That it feels very aligned. I believe that's who you would best serve. If I was to just kind of point you towards a path, I think the woman who is feeling called to build an empire, and it may not necessarily be an expert based business, it could be any kind of business. And this is what I love about what's possible for you with the work that you do is like you may find that you really like working with founders because it takes they have to be a coach or a speaker or whatever off, and it gives you this range of this is a woman with a vision. She wants to maybe leave a legacy, but she's not confined to the
Mm-mm.
coaching mentoring space.
Mm-mm.
She could be any kind of business owner.
100%. Yeah. Um, she, I mean, a very, very close, I don't, person of mine. She's building a sticker business and it's
Mhm.
exploding on Etsy. And I'm like, good for you. Like buying yourself a new Lexus after having a sticker. Like it's cool and I'm all for it. So yeah, I do not need for it to be coaches. I don't need to for it to be service based.
Okay,
Agreed.
I like
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
So now I want you to really, because you, one of the conditions that for alignment for you is you don't have to handhold these people.
Mm,
And there's two ways into that frame, that outcome for you. Is one
hmm.
is you think about the person you work with, okay, and we can go deeper into their characteristics, their qualities, like what makes them who they are, that makes them be this perfect integration of your skills and what they need, and you don't get burned out supporting them. So that's one way. And the other way in is to really look at the container you're building,
Hmm.
and both. You know, you may be some of both.
Yeah.
So, do you feel like you attract the right people, but the container has energy leaks in it?
Yeah.
Or is it the person you're attracting and you feel like the container is pretty solid?
That's a great question. I would say that I have been attracting pretty much the right people. Um, More of them would be nice. But I would say that the people that I have coached have been like spot on. Like and so the one of the characteristics I would say is someone who is intrinsically motivated and ready. So I'm not also not interested in talking someone into being this sort of deeper version of themselves. Um, so yeah, an intrinsically motivated person and someone who is willing and ready to make some changes and add some juice to their life.
Okay.
But the container, yeah. So I would say that that is some things that I've considered is, is having a like a workshop, a short, fun workshop. I've also got several, it's like a private podcast, right? But a private podcast with recorded um, meditations for various situations that would impact my ideal avatar.
Mm.
And like those are things that I believe are very, very helpful. But it's like, true manifestor. I have all this stuff done and I haven't, I don't know if it's true manifestor or it's just me, is that I haven't necessarily like moved that one completely forward, though I
Mm.
think that I would like to. And that is something that someone could, engage with me on in a one-on-one setting. And supplementally, they have this private podcast that's like a cachet of, like I said, guided meditations or visualization exercises that will help in various scenarios for my ideal person.
So let's go a little deeper into the container because I
Mhm.
sense that's where
Yeah.
the biggest opportunity for
Mhm.
optimizing and transformation is today.
Yeah.
Um, when I think of the container and what I heard you say that burns you out, I want
Mhm.
you to think about like when you're with your ideal client, are you going to help them get that clarity, that catalytic energy in one session, or does it take a few sessions to unfold?
Well, the two that I have, and so the two that I have, that's a great question. One of them is more towards like clarity, strategy, just more of like a breakthrough, but no follow-up. And that is a half day. So like meet in person. Let's, I mean, there would need to be some type of an intake taken. So that's a half day session with me.
Mm-hmm.
The one that I think that is the most popular is the 3 month. And then
Mm-hmm.
that includes some other sort of tack on things as well.
Okay.
That's the one where I feel like I've gotten the most results from.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't burn me out. I would say
Okay.
if we're going for like a year, that that would that would definitely burn me out.
Okay.
Mhm.
So here's where I see opportunity.
Okay.
Um, I I just energetically, as you were communicating those two different models,
Hmm.
the one that lit me up was the 90-day one.
Hmm.
Um, and I'm not saying no one would ever buy a half day, but
Right.
I think from what you're wanting to accomplish with this type of woman,
Hmm.
and because it's transformation based and it's not
Hmm.
just strategy per se, I would really focus on getting known for this 90-day experience that you do. And
Hmm.
this is where like that next level that's kind of beyond what we can cover today, but like really like getting that lighthouse message for it.
Hmm.
So it like emanates, I must have it to that woman who's the go-getter, and she
Hmm.
knows there's something she needs to transform.
Hmm.
She knows there's something that's holding her back. She knows that there's this next thing calling to her, and either she doesn't feel like she has the capacity for it, she doesn't know how to do it, or she has other really challenging decisions to make that are actually in the way of her accepting that next thing in her life.
Yeah.
That's what I would focus on. That's what I
Hmm.
would personally encourage you to get
Hmm.
known for. And
Hmm.
like make that your signature offer.
Hmm.
And then like the half day is something, it's an alternative if they're not going to do the 90 days with you.
Hmm.
It's a starter rather than like, hey, I have these two things, which one you want? This is my program. Oh, by the way, this is also here if it's a better fit for you. How's that energetically feeling to you?
Yeah, that no, that feels feels really good. And as you're speaking, I'm I'm seeing that, the half day could be in addition to
Mhm.
versus, or like a tune-up,
It's the
if you
how to
will.
do the thing that you discover in the 90-day transformation, maybe.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I could
Yeah,
totally be that.
yeah, yep.
So what else? I want to just go a little bit deeper on container. What
Hmm.
else has to be in this container or not in the container to ensure that you don't burn out with it?
Well, what I've already identified um, is that the amount of access. For me, responding a lot, and again, this is something that, again, in alignment with, our human design, is that having to respond over and over again to really needy kind of, I don't know how else to describe it. That is something that but I want to provide such a high level and sort of like touch service.
Hmm.
And so I think the term, I've never really called it this, but the term out there is called Voxer support. So
Hmm.
I love doing like the voice notes and things like that. And so identifying voice notes, but really for me, it's got to be crystal clear, like how often and how long they can expect until they can hear from me. For the most part, if it's someone that I'm super fired up and like jazzed about, as long as life isn't in the way with like kids or, traveling or things like that, then I'm happy to respond very quickly because I get excited about that stuff. But
Hmm.
if it's the have to, you have to,
Yes.
the nibbling at your heels type of thing. That's the stuff I don't want that to happen
Hmm.
because I want to feel that just over giving, loving, let's do this, I'm your biggest cheerleader kind of thing.
Hmm.
So it's the
That
amount of responding, I think.
that clarity is very, very perfect.
Mm.
That's not the right sentence. It's not very, very perfect, but you know what I meant.
Yeah, I do.
And so again, as a manifester, one of your superpowers gets activated when you inform
Hmm.
versus react, right?
Yeah.
And when you don't inform, other people tend to get confused or disillusioned or feel frustrated and disconnected. So,
Hmm.
what I would encourage you to do is when you look at how you're going to navigate this container,
Hmm.
get really like clear parameters for how it works, who is it's for. So I would even go as deep as to say this is for you if you know you need touch points and you are not going to need me to touch base with you every day. Like figure out those distinctions so that they can self opt into what works for them and feels right for them.
Hmm.
But the I'm available during these times. And then here's the really amazing informing quality that you get to impart on your clients is now as a manifester, you may notice that I'm gonna, ebb and flow in my availability a little bit. So my intention is to be available during these times. And if I don't get right back to you, it's because I'm having to put my attention in another direction and I will be back, right? And so
Yeah.
you will have to have some agreements. It's like I won't leave you hanging more than this much time, but
Right.
you may not hear from me within the hour.
Yes. Yeah. I love that. And I think that, just the term inform, it really does change things. And I think that energy really is out there for this ideal customer and this ideal individual because they're going to want that. They're going to feel kind of mm, depending on how they sort of respond, they're going to feel that and it's going to just make sense for them. And it's going to,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah,
I love it.
yeah, same.
So is there anything else about it feeling aligned that we haven't addressed that's kind of niggling in the back of your mind and you're like, but yes, but what about this?
I don't think so. No, not.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you the question we started with. What do
Hmm.
you want to be known for?
Mm. Well, I definitely want this to be a catalyzing experience for
Hmm.
people to confront what they feel on the inside, but they've probably been too afraid to do it in order for them to match their inside feeling with what appears on the outside. So their outside success and inside success to really be matched. And
Yeah,
and I and I want to help people achieve that.
yes.
Hmm.
And I'm going to have you own it. I am a catalyst
I am a catalyst.
and I help activate
Hmm.
what?
I h- I help activate I help activate fulfillment, true fulfillment in someone so that it becomes real success.
Yeah. I love the energetic frequency of that. It feels
Mm.
very potent. And what I see as your next step around this is like language, right? Like I know we're kind
Yeah.
of like we're shaping it now, but the next
Hmm.
step is really going to be getting the message to wrap around it. So the message goes pop. Oh yeah, she just activated me.
Hmm.
And I got to figure out what it looks like to work with her. And that's
Awesome.
going to come now that you have that clarity. Like, this is what you want to be known for. That's the
Yeah.
container. This is the client. It's a 90-day transformational experience. That's it. That's where the
Hmm.
juice is for you.
I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So, what would you say? is
Mhm.
your biggest takeaway from this session today?
Well, I mean, for sure that I would say that like I'm a lot closer to being there than I think what I thought.
Mm.
Um, just one second. The UPS guy is coming. Hopefully you can edit this and the dog is gonna bark, so I hope that doesn't happen. Um, I'm a lot closer than what I thought. Um, the second guessing and the imposter syndrome pops in. You know, I look at you and I see you as someone who's been around for so, for not for so long, but like you've been on the scene doing this and so confident. And I see that as like a little mirror for me to be able to emulate that.
Mm.
Not to sound cheesy, but it's true. But not in the same way. You know, we're as much similarities as we have, we're doing different things. And the other piece really is that half day where I was thinking like that it wouldn't have to be so long term and the burnout factor is something that I really was leaning like way far into, but I think that I could really feel the energetics of the 3 month and I was more excited about it. It was easier for me to explain. You even felt it and I agree. So I mean that would be sort of the other main takeaway.
Mm. I love that.
Yeah.
Exciting. Okay, what's the one thing you'll commit to putting into action from today?
Well, I'm probably gonna do more than just one, but
Okay.
I mean, come on, let's be real here. Yeah, I'm gonna play in my website. I'm gonna update the website to reflect a lot of the stuff that we just talked about. There's a lot of things on my website that I want to update, but that's definitely one of them.
Mm.
And the next piece is to also work on the vernacular, to more clearly articulate that and
Good.
what I'm known for.
Yes. And
Yeah.
as someone's listening in and they're feeling that activation, they're like, oh, snap. Annie's calling my number here. Say,
hmm
this is me. She's speaking to me right now. How would you like them to find you?
Well, I would love to. I'm very active on Instagram, as you know. So our underscore luminous underscore life is me. So hit me up in the DMs, or you can kind of peep my website at ourluminouslife.com.
Yeah, and we'll make sure that's all linked up in the show notes for you as you're listening in.
Thank
Annie,
you.
thank you so much. It's really an inspiration to hold space for a megawatt powerhouse like yourself. And,
Thank you.
I think this is one of the beautiful things about mentorship and coaching is coaches need coaches, mentors need mentors, and sometimes we're in our overthinking selves or self-doubt, right? And, the other person can just see so clearly what's possible.
Yeah,
And you've been just such a great example of tiny, tiny shifts in clarity can swing that door open so quickly.
absolutely. Thank you. This has
Thank
been
you.
magnificent. Thank you for the invitation. And thank you for informing me of the things that you have seen about me. I genuinely appreciate it, and I appreciate our partnership. Thank you.
Yeah, me too. Thank you.
hmm
Lean on your deeper why. Like, why are you doing this business in the first place? And that should also go through all of your conversations, partnership conversations, client conversations, sales conversations. If that thread is always there, it will look and feel organic.
You are listening to Amplify Your Success Podcast, episode 437. And today, let's unpack what it takes to create strategic and profitable business partnerships. You ready for this? Let's get started. Welcome to the Amplify Your Success Podcast. Get ready to ramp up your revenue, amplify your impact, and make your mark in the world. This is the show for experts, thought leaders, and service professionals who want to shatter their limits and achieve that next level. You're going to find out from other experts and influencers how they made it. Now, let's get amplified. Hey there, inspired entrepreneurs and ripple-making experts. It's your host, Melanie Benson, Authority Amplifier. And today, I've got a guest joining us, someone who I really admire and enjoy so much, who specializes in creating very powerful strategic partnership. Thanks for tuning in today, Amplifier. We're going to keep this conversation going, and I want to hear from you how you're going to amplify your authority and make a greater impact. Before you go, please take a minute to give our show and our guests some love over on your favorite podcasting platform. Subscribe, rate, and review. Leave your full name, and I'll spotlight you and your authority on social media.